Hey guys, I'm MeeMee and I do Allsorts, and today we are doing the March Scrawlrbox. So if you don't know, Scrawlrbox is a mystery art box right here in the UK. Mystery art supplies the prompt and you make something out of it. Not sponsored and not affiliated. So without further ado, let's see what we get in March's box. So we have our scrollers in that's got hints and tips and info about the artist. Ooh, this is really cool. Now, I'm not really a big fan of robots, but that is pretty damn cool. And my camera is failing to focus in for some strange reason, but our featured artist is Imri, and there's the info. I hope you can see it. Right, and last but not least, we have our drawn medium, which is A5 white card. You get 10 sheets, it's 250 GSM and it's smooth. Okay, I really have no idea what on earth is going on with my camera, and it seems to be focusing on everything but what I want it to focus on. But anyway, this card feels like the box standard card and it feels smooth. Alright, and here's what we get. So we get our scroller sticker, which matches our scroller theme image. Our sweet of the month is All Woolies Brawn Highland Toffee. I'm pretty sure All Woolly is a UK based character from a very old comic book. Okay, so starting off with the loose items, we have Coin Hardman's Toyson Door pencil. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, I've never seen that one before. And this one is a 3B, so this is a soft lead pencil, and I do love my B pencils. And next up we have a Rembrandt Polycolour by Lyra. Now Lyra do actually do some really cool stuff, and I don't think I've ever come across a Rembrandt Polycolour, but it is, and it does look like a really beautiful shade, so I am intrigued to see how this actually performs. Right, and now is a favourite in the Copic world, which is a Copic multi-line. So this is 0.3, it's permanent ink, water and Copic proof. And that's what that looks like. It is a very, very thin nib. This is not the smallest one that I have. I do actually have a 0.05, which is ultra fine. And as a heavy-handed person, I am so surprised I have not broke it yet. But this one is in a black ink. And finally, for the creme de la creme, and the markers. I have actually used these before in art snack boxes, and I think maybe smart art. So I think I have every colour known to man from graphics. And they are alcohol-based markers, which means that they do blend together, which is great. And so these ones come in like very muted shades, and they look pretty much all grey. And it looks like we can get 3 warm tones and 3 cool tones. Okay, so jumping straight into the swatching. Funny story, I was actually talking to myself for like 5 minutes until I realised that I was not recording. So anyway, I'm trying this thing again. It's always best to try out the art supplies on the paper that you're going to use just to see how they react. And once again, I'm going to be trying out the pencil. Yes, and it's 3B and it feels really nice in this card actually. So anyway, I'm going to be trying out the Rembrandt Polycolour, which I've just found out is called Dark Violet, which is very mysterious. And tell you what, that is an absolutely beautiful purple. Next up is the Copic multiliner. Ooh, that does actually have a really nice feel to it, and I'm quite impressed with that. And I would love to see how the markers react to it. And speaking of which, we get to try out the markers. Now, do have a problem with these markers because for some reason every pack I've got almost feels like there's like an oil on the barrel, which I really do not understand whatsoever, but it's like very, very slippery. But these are what the barrels look like. They are a really beautiful grey colour. One end you've got your standard chisel nib, and on the other you've got a butt nib, which which I'm not exactly a fan of, but on A5 paper it's actually quite nice, so you can get like all of the small details. The caps do come with numbers instead of names, and like some do, so if you're colourblind, that's not exactly helpful. And there's the different shades of grey. Now I have to admit, I really do love the fact that they give you the warm greys and the cool greys, and I am actually quite impressed, and then give you a variety rather than having like too similar. Again, apart from the fact that the caps do not have words on them telling you, even if it's just warm grey 1, it's the fact that the colour of the caps do not match the colour of the swatch. So that is a problem if you are just eyeballing the colours, but again, this is why we do swatching, so we know what we're working with. And it's also useful as well to make note of what number it is. So the markers did go down really well, but because this is card and not marker paper, I know for a fact that the markers are not going to layer on top of each other easily, and they're not going to blend easily either, but we're going to try, because this is in marker paper and it's just not blending whatsoever. And layering, so far I'm able to layer on top of it twice just to get like darker shades, which is really nice. So with the darkest colour I can get that darker tone if I need it. Well, I mean to my own words saying, because I just went over that one part 4 times already and it's still going down flat, and it's still going, and it hasn't like pulled up the paper either. So I'm quite impressed by that, but problem with this is that I won't be able to cover a larger area without overlapping at some point, so I am going to get streaking. But, you know, and it's just one of those things. But I might be able to get away with it because it's such a small piece of paper, and also depending on what the prompt is. Speaking of which, our prompt for the month of March is bionic being. Now, I do not think I have ever drawn anything bionic in my life, so this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to do some brainstorming and I will get back to you. Okay, so here, as you can see, I jumped straight into the line art of the work, simply because you might see me do a bit more lines and, you know, last minute things like the spikes, but as you can see, I do have my final image here. Now normally with these things I just jump straight into the first thing that comes to mind, and this was actually the first thing, and this idea actually stemmed from the cactus fruit Red Bull energy drink. For me, that's like the most exotic flavour I have found in my town in the UK, so it wasn't too bad, not exactly my favourite, but I like the idea of cactus fruit on, as I actually found out, a prickly pear, which is a type of cactus. The cactus fruit is actually the little fruits on top. So you learn something new every day. So as you can see, I've gone to the cactus fruit plant here, and I randomly added a mouse. Don't know why a mouse, I just wanted to draw a mouse. And so from there, it's self-explanatory, the mouse is watering the cactus fruit. So I'm wanting to keep the mouse fairly a mouse and didn't want to go in too much into it being a robot, because that's where you really will lose me. So I'm just stuck with the usual missing eye. He's got an ear that's made up of smaller plates of metal. He's lost his arm and got a metal one instead, and the same with his tail. And of course he's carrying a cute little watering can. I will be adding a bit of purple in there just to break it up in places more than that. But we're working with grey, so it's just basically laying down colours and seeing where it takes. I do have somewhat of a plan going into this as far as where I'm going to be placing the colours. And like when these fruits, I don't want the colouring to be too dark, because I want the purple to show up on top. I really don't know how things are actually going to work until I actually get colours down in certain places and see how that works. I never plan. And and give me the supply and I will jump straight into it and see where it takes me. I do want to complete the 24-hour test, which is where I put down a few lines of the fine liner, letting that dry for 24 hours and then go over it with the marker or whatever medium I want to test it out with, and see if it smudges. I mean, not all fine liners are the same. Some say that they're waterproof and they're actually not, and I do have quite a few that say they're waterproof, and so far these cactus fruits look like eggs. Jeez, I can't remember the last time I actually used a chisel nib. But I need to try and make like a smooth enough base over these larger areas. I really am finding it extremely hard just to hold on to these barrels again, because it feels like there's something on them and I can feel my fingers slipping down as though it's wet. I'm actually kind of hoping that by some miracle this colour is going to be a lot lighter. There is so much streakiness going on and I don't like it, but I could use it to my advantage and say then highlights. So is it unfortunate or is it a happy accident? I also do know as well that although cacti are green and on the colour wheel it is a cold colour, I'm just really wanting to put something warm in there. I mean, so I'm almost finished now, so I'm going to go in just a few select areas and like the cactus fruit mostly with the purple. So if you've seen cactus fruit, they are like a pink colour, but I don't have pink. Well, now they're starting to look a lot less like eggs. And the last little touches. Alright, and there you have it. I know it's quite simple, but I think it's quite effective. And I really do love the way how it came out and how we've got like different variations of tones going in. Like how I've got all of the cool tones for the metal, I've got warm tones for the mouse, and I've got warm tones for the cactus. I think it came together really well. So for someone who really isn't marker artist, this one's actually ideal. And I also love the fact that I could put pencil on top of it. The markers were fantastic to work with. Again, would have probably preferred marker paper, but working on the cards worked out really well. there's quite a lot of ghosting through, and that's actually quite heavily ghosted, but as you can see it's not on my table, which I will give them double points for. In fact, that was something that I didn't even test out, so I'm so glad because this is a brand new table. The markers work fantastic, love the colour range. They work quite awkward to hold because there's such a square barrel. And like I said, there was a bit of an issue with being able to grip hold of it, and it just felt like, you know, there was water on it, like slipping out of my fingers, so I had to stop every few seconds to, you know, readjust. But again, other than that, they work beautifully. The Copic multi-liner, oh my life, it worked an absolute dream, especially with these markers. I can send, I did things 24 hours before I did the markers, and none of the line art has bled whatsoever, so I will give props to the Copic multi-liner. They are a little bit expensive, but my life, I will be getting to more if they're going to be working this good. And the coloured pencil, you know, works like any ordinary coloured pencil. I don't know what the difference is. It shown up really beautifully on the lighter areas. It's a really beautiful colour, and I'm actually quite glad that it was put in the box, so at least we had something else other than just grey to work with. Alright, and that's it for March's box. So again, I had a lot of fun with it, loved all of the supplies. So if you guys would love to experience it for yourself, I will leave a link in the description box below. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.